see Peru. How will they play the draft?
Yes, well, it's all about this draft, but I actually have a fun fact here for you, Chef. We have Yang and Tempo, who are part of Clash. They actually qualified for the World Championships last year for the South America West region, but unfortunately they had to withdraw from participation. So this is their first time here.
Wow. Well, you know, they put on a great show. This has turned out to be one of the most difficult groups for sure. I feel like I'm saying that about every single group so far, but it is absolutely true. We are going to see the Inteleon banned. We have been seeing such a rare amount of bans. I think we saw a stat that was about 15-ish percentage bans so far today, but I'm not surprised to see it banned. It has been the game winner so many different matches.
Yes, and now that these Pokemon are banned, it does leave open for a Slowbro pick along with the Alolan Ninetales. And I must say, I am absolutely loving all of these A9 picks today. Definitely a popular attacker amongst these teams.
Yeah, it just has so much utility for what it brings to the table, especially alongside its damage. But an interesting thing here that we're going to see is we see the Espeon picked up very early. That's very, very interesting to me, alongside the Urshifu, is that when we saw the Hoenn match against Secret Ship, Hoenn had a 100% ban rate against the Zacian, saying that, assuming that Secret Ship was going to be picking it a lot. However, we haven't seen it picked yet. We will see if it is in the cards here. On the other side, the Buzzwole and the Clefable kind of rounding out this tanky comp for Peru, but I'm not seeing a Zacian over here for Secret Ship.
No, there's no Sword Dog as of yet, but it looks like they are hovering over a Trevenant. And do we get a Chandelure game this round? Oh my gosh, Secret Ship, bring in the goods. It is their final chance. They want to put on a show.
Yeah, of course, Gyakubaru was just disgusting on this Trevenant in that last set, so I'm not super surprised to see that. Of course, the Chandelure has been doing really well as well today, even within this group, but the Glaceon, this may be the first time that we've seen Glaceon in broadcasts.
I think so, but I must say, I am a fan of all of the Evolution picks.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, hey, 2 in 1 game, almost 3. I'm surprised, actually, we're not seeing the Umbreon. All that's left is to see a Sylveon, and I'm genuinely surprised that we haven't, based on how much utility it possibly can have. But here we go. Secret Ship's last chance to play here in front of the Japanese crowd, and Peru's first chance to show off what they can do on broadcast. We're going to let Spriggles and Dupe Snacks show us what they can do.
Here we go, and this is a real show match here, Dupe Snacks. I mean, this is when these teams really want to pull it out for the audience.
That's without a doubt. I mean, you're on your home turf, you're on the big stage, you had a match that just didn't quite go the way you wanted, so you get a good chance here to leave this event making a statement, and that's exactly what they want to do. Like, yeah, Peru, you might be moving on, but don't forget that Secret Ship is here and about that action, and we can take wins off you.
Glaceon, by the way, a Pokemon we have not gotten to see yet on the main stage, I don't believe, and I'm excited to see it here. It was such a powerful Pokemon throughout the entirety of Year 2 of the Championship Series. We just have not seen it much here at Worlds, as we have the Urshifu, of course, heading into the central area for the side of Secret Ship. Secret Ship, your purple team. Peru, your orange team.
DLR going to be in the middle, taking the Urshifu for the 4th consecutive game we've seen them on stage. Clearly something they favor. Same thing with Yakubari. Secret Ship is leaning now heavily into their comfort picks and just trying to execute the way they know how.
And now we have Glaceon. It looks like they're heading down possibly towards this bottom path a little bit early here. Obviously, it only needs level 4 to be super effective to take a turn from Pokemon. And it's actually making its way back up to the top path now, deciding where is a better fight for it.
Yeah, maybe the communication is kind of going back and forth. Hey, we're going to need you here. Anemo, we're going to need you here. And then they're just adjusting accordingly. They're not really in a rush right now. And they certainly don't want to just walk on a landmine and get absolutely destroyed and give all of that Central Air experience they picked up to the other team.
Yeah, here we can see Buzzwole actually heading back into the central area here, trying to get as much experience as they can, possibly get this level 5 early. If they're able to get that, they get that huge early Buzzwole power spike. They're so incredibly close, but they're not able to get it until some of this experience is taken, and they are collapsing on this Urshifu looking to get the KO, but no, they make it home.
Yakao with a great hyperspace hole there to make sure that DLR can engage and get out of there. But I'm curious, DLR picked this Rapid Strike Urshifu in the face of a Clefable, which can easily just take gravity. Obviously, it doesn't have it there as it gets absolutely folded like laundry, but something to keep in mind further on, and DLR is going to have to engage with that in mind.
Of course, we were wondering what kind of Glaceon are we going to see. Both builds very, very popular. We've got an Icy Wind Glaceon right here, trying to put some damage onto the side of Secret Ship, as they're in the central area trying to steal away some of these buffs here from Peru.
Yeah, and they're running good defense. Clefable pivoted back. Peru adjusting well to what they were being presented by Secret Ship, and ultimately just off to a good, consistent start for this game one.
Here we have Yang moving down towards this central area, and here, this is the strategy that we were just talking about here from Secret Ship in the central area of Peru, continuing to put the pressure on. Rapid Striker Shifu, it just feels like as an early game Pokemon at level 5, I don't know if anything fights better than this thing.
Well, it's fighting certainly well right now as Anemo is just pulling up, and they're going to have to try and get this Clefable unlocked, but Kia is caught out, and they are smushed like a game of whack-a-mole, and DLR going to make it out on top of that? Are we going to find an Icy Wind? It actually flips back on top of Gyakubari. Tons of damage being rained in, and now the A9 is providing some support here, and finally they get the KO on the tree.
But of course, what they were looking to do there, send that Urshifu home, make sure that they could block for it, be that defender, and they were. Gyakubari's Trevenant has been amazing throughout this tournament.
It really reminds me of Bruv from Nouns' Trevenant from the AOS Cup in the middle of the season, where suddenly they just had to start banning Trevenant because, like, we just can't deal with this person on this Pokemon.
And now we see this top path right here, Peru, trying to take this down before members of Secret Ship get there. But yes, they are able to barely steal it away from that Chandelure's overheat.
Nice little uppercut by the Buzzwole to just provide some spacing and get the Glaceon what they need to try and get this Icy Wind online. Meanwhile, Secret Ship is taking a fairly easy Regice. Nice attempt there by Daystark with the Surf to try and secure that thing. Secret Ship sandbagged it just long enough. They secure it cleanly.
Secret Ship really in control of this match right now. They're the only team to have put any points on the board so far. We're seeing if we can power up this Glaceon on the side of Peru and see if there's anything they can do in some of these fights. But level-wise, point-wise, experience-wise, everything-wise, it's looking great for Secret Ship, and they're incredibly aggressive in these fights, taking another big KO.
I mean, every time Secret Ship is having monumental team fights, Gyakubari is always in the middle, and that one was no exception.
Whoa.
They actually ejected to use the Wood Hammer and get the KO on the Glaceon. This Secret Ship is not about playing a tempered pace right now. They're about that action. They're getting aggressive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Gyakubari is one of the best Trevenants I've seen. Just incredible plays across the board. That was a thing of beauty right there, using that eject, following it up with the Horn Leech, barely catching them with that Wood Hammer. But that's what happens when you know the exact edges of your Pokemon. You can take it all the way to the limit, and you're well aware of whether or not you're going to pick up this KO. Beautiful stuff from Secret Ship. 161-0.
Obi-Wan screening very well with Gyakubari, knowing that a Horn Leech actually puts the opposing team in the perfect range for the overheat, and they're able to just rain in damage, and they are keeping this strategy going. Peru hasn't shown any ability to counter it, so keep doing it.
Yeah, and here we go. 5 minutes left here in our first game. Secret Ship with a commanding lead. Tempo looking to make something happen here in the top end. You know, they might pick up a nice big KO, and they do. They're able to score some more points right there. Actually, would have been better if they sent nobody up there.
Honestly, that's right. They would have gotten the same amount of points in. The Buzzwole wouldn't have had to do anything. I mean, the Buzzwole would still have a Unite move technically, but, I mean, it's a good exchange for them when you're talking about Peru. Here we go. Good engagement. Nice Alolan Ninetales Blizzard Avalanche combo, but the DLR's Unite comes out just in time to get Slow Beam. That's a nice catch. Now they're pushing forward. They're looking for an opportunity. Gyakubari flashes in again and goes for the Glaceon. They get poached by the Buzzwole. Now the rings are unbound, and they can get some stuns in. It's right on top of Tempo. They get K'd out by who else? Gyakubari. Glaceon is trying to Icy Wind their way out, but they're stunned down by the Big Space Fists in tandem with the Espeon. Wow, Alolan Ninetales finally just frost buckles the tree, but the damage has been done, and Secret Ship is still all over this Reggie Electric.
Secret Ship now taking another another big objective here after a big fight win. Way ahead in this match. Level-wise, we have some evening up on the side of Peru here as they're making their way around the map looking for some experience. They're going to have to deal with this Regieleki while we have members of Secret Ship ready to try to take this objective in the bottom path. Buzzwole, a real tough customer to deal with, but we've got 2 members of Secret Ship down here trying to make something happen. Buzzwole looking for the KO, the Phantom Force pushing them back right there, and they are able to take the hyperspace hole home as they now are looking to possibly pick up this Buzzwole on their goal zone.
Yakao doing great work, keeping the pressure on. The Buzzwole is clearly hunting for that KO, using their Phantom Force to actually dip behind, get a little bit of space off Tempo, and let DLR step up and say, Tempo, if you want to get back into this, I've got you. Up on the top side, though, Anima getting a KO streak of 2, and the Chandelure getting it right back, as a matter of fact. And, of course, the left side team has a huge lead. They're looking to get another objective, too.
Yeah, and this could be a nice fight for Tempo if it's able to get around this, but no, here comes the Hoopa, able to support the Urshifu right here, and we're going to be able to pick up this Regirock for the side of Secret Ship. 45 seconds now until Rayquaza hits the map, and Secret Ship is way, way ahead.
Way ahead. If I am Peru, I am looking for a committed flip here and do it quickly. Try and catch Secret Ship off guard. Otherwise, you're going to let them play forward, disrupt you, and let Yakubari and the rest of the team line up behind them and engage in the way they want to.
Yeah, as you can see, level-wise, things aren't looking insanely bad for the side of Peru. We do have a level 13 on this Glaceon. They can output a lot of damage, but it needs that spacing. It needs that front line so it's able to do something right here. And Secret Ship has just been so disruptive when they are dashing in and fighting Peru here. We actually thought we'd get more out of this Clefable, but they have not been able to change too much on the side of Secret Ship's Urshifu.
Scrapping out up top. I mean, we've got DLR looking for the Buzzwole. Tempo's trying to hold their own. A little bit of support out of Kia, going to try and get the heals going. If they can get a pick on DLR here, that's a good little move here. Unite move is used. One player down, they're down for 15 seconds. What's the move they're going to make from here? Retreating back to Secret Ship to get some time. Buzzwole goes straight for a score, Spraggles.
Yeah, interesting play here going for that score. They are still behind in this moment. Maybe they feel like they don't have a way to engage on this fight exactly how they want, but it feels to me like this is a missed opportunity. You just isolated and KO'd such an important member of Secret Ship, but then you don't take this fight.
I mean, everybody thrown in a blender right now as the Snow Globe comes out, the Trevenant Unite comes out, the rings are unbound, the stuns are there. Still just one player down. The Alolan Ninetales is so low. Yang Ji finally getting KO'd by Obion, and now Anemo is just moving back across the map. They're looking for an opportunity. Yakubari gets KO'd, the Buzzwole gets a KO streak of 2, but is it too little too late? 1 minute left, and they still haven't started focusing on the objective, and now they're getting absolutely folded. All the tempo back into the hands of Secret Ship.
Yeah, and this Clefable's also in a lot of trouble if someone decides to chase it down right here. We got 41 points. No, possibly going in. They're peeling back. They realize that Rayquaza is being hit right now by Secret Ship, and they want to make sure that they are here for this fight, doing everything they can to stop DLR, to stop Obion from taking this Rayquaza off the map right here. Here comes the Glaceon for the possible security.
Oh, the Slowbro gets it! Okay, Peru, they're coming back. They're down by 15, and this is an easy gap to close, Spraggles. The first Hundo Burger, bang, that's in, eating good. Peru looking for another one. They going straight for the gut goals to see if they can get more of those in. Plus 200 points, that's a big question mark to me. I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, the points are raining in here to the main goal, and I guess the question on my mind is, why did Secret Ship do that?
Great question.
Why did they do that? Why did they take Rayquaza? I'm so confused at what was happening right there. That did not feel like a great opportunity for them, and unfortunately, it just really went the wrong way.
Well, credit to Peru. I mean, I was questioning why the Slowbro was peeling back, and you said, hey, I mean, Secret Ship is starting this thing, and the reason that they peeled back was to give themselves an opportunity, because they were going to be able to take Rayquaza with who they had on the map in that moment. Even the Clefable pivoted down and said, hey, this is our chance. They've opened the door. Let's see if we can kick through this thing. And guess what? The Slowbro made it happen. They got it done. Daystar coming through.
Yeah, incredible stuff here from Peru. Real heads-up plays right there. And unfortunately, Secret Ship trying to take the win condition away. They weren't able to do it. Let's send it on over to Chef and Kello to break this one down.
What a turn around that one was. Yeah, you know, sometimes the only damage that you need is a Clefable and a Slowbro. And that is, honestly, both of those are for the Pokemon. And it's like, yeah, they're the support. And sometimes they just chunk you for your entire life. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. They can actually deal damage. But what an interesting game. Let's take a look at some of the data color.
Yes, you can see that Obion there, 95k damage. But you know what? It wasn't enough. Obviously, the turnaround, as we just witnessed from Peru side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was like gave them that such a strong lead, but it just came down to the weirdness at the end. Side note here, highest damage on the side of Peru is Animo with the 77,000 damage. Glaceon, I mentioned, it's the first time that we've seen it on broadcast. I'm a big Glaceon fan, but I'm surprised we haven't seen it more. It has such a good usage, I think, in this current meta. I think it was a great example of why as we look at some of the highlights of this game.
Yes, let's take a squiz at these highlights. Obviously taking down the Clefable. You can see this push that Secret Ship were doing here to try and take down that tier 1 pad.
Yeah, I mean, again, so much from Gyakubari, by the way, has been really an MVP in so many different ways of the previous 2 broadcast matches that we've seen. That Trevenant is so fun. If I did one, I was going to try to interview Gyakubari and just ask, why Trevenant? But instead we got to say why Frank with the Lucario, which is a great one as well. There's the dunks right there. Such a good escape, but such a good turnaround. I mean, had to at least commit some resources a little bit there. But this was, again, I just have to point out a very strange match. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it was just kind of like a brawl for a little bit. The comeback was interesting, but well taken advantage of by Peru very well.
Oh, definitely. Considering how many points they were behind, in the end, it obviously being that a close game, but the fact that you get those ray shields, you're able to get in pretty much those free dunks, but you can just see him trying to take them left, right, and center here, and the time was running out. The time was running out.
Yeah, it was still more than a little bit scary. So, hey, just a lot of clutch factor, right? Again, this is our first time that we've had a chance to see Peru on the broadcast. So this is a good first chance to kind of see how they're going to be playing through our finals bracket tomorrow. We do get to see the player of the game is going to be the Glaceon, and it is going to be Animo. I mean, I love seeing it.
I completely agree. Having those double glasses plus that slick spoon to maximize that special attack damage, being able to dish out 77,000k damage.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. So now I'm curious if we're going to see anything different in the draft. The thing about that is that the Glaceon was really kind of the MVP damage-wise of that team, but Glaceon is so far down the list of potential bans, and even really far down the list of potential, I'm going to try to steal this from you by playing it ourselves.
I think it's interesting as well because there is such a range of attackers to choose, but it looks like we have Lapras being locked down and banned for Secret Ship, but Trevenant ban? This is interesting.
Okay, so now we know for a fact that Secret Ship cannot qualify, but if you're Gyakubari, you got to feel really good about that. If you can force a Trevenant ban in the strongest defender meta of all time to target you specifically, you win, right? You win. I'm looking at Spraggles. I'm getting confirmation. Thank you. You win. Yes, it is a confirmation. Thank you, Spraggles.
But because we do have that Trevenant ban, Inteleon is being selected first, and I think this is a great first selection, but it does leave that opportunity for Hoopa and Urshifu on the side of Secret Ship.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious what we're going to see from Gyakubari now that we are not going to see the Trevenant. Oh, we're going to see the Umbreon. Oh, congratulations. You've banned the Trevenant now. You get to fight Umbreon.
You get to lock in Umbreon, but look at this. We have Daystark that has locked in Slowbro. And as we have mentioned time and time again, that is not the Unite move you want to be caught out on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you are any sort of squishy, we are going to see the Zoroark, though. The damage out of the side of Peru is very scary. The Zoroark, the Inteleon, potentially the Blastoise, however that ends up being played. And, oh, the Goodra. Now I'm curious if Gyakubari is going to be the one on Goodra. There are, of course, a lot of potential role shifts here, especially when you're playing, for example, like Umbreon. It can be shifted to a lot of different kind of minor roles within the defender role. It does look like they're going to be sticking with exactly what this is, playing the Goodra more as a kind of like a top, like, path brawler type, which we saw work very well for Oyasumi Makuru.
Yes, I definitely think it would go into that top path, having those special attack specs. It wants to get in those dunks earlier on. But you know what? As final preparations are almost done, I think we go and hand these off to our casters, Zoinks, Spraggles, and Doom Snacks.
As the only people on the broadcast with mustaches, it's very difficult to get us confused with anybody else, but we did it.
You know what I think it is? I think it's everybody wants to hear.
It's because we were saying so many good numbers. It was the numbers thing.
We might have gotten so smart that someone actually thought that we were Zoinks for a moment right here. A huge compliment. And by the way, one of the greatest compliments someone can pay you in a match of Pokemon Unite is directly banning the Pokemon you last played. What an absolute move right here. We do not see Gakubari again on this Trevenant, and I honestly think there's no bigger way to say, you've done it. You're incredible. We're taking this away from you.
On the world stage, nonetheless. And these are teams from all over the world, and they say, you know what? This kid's a problem.
I don't like the tree. It's not very nice to us.
Yeah, let's just give them one of the S-tier defenders, because that C-tier one is beating us up.
Yeah, incredible stuff here as we head into game number 2. Peru up 1 game against Secret Ship. Secret Ship bringing out a really interesting composition right here, changing things up. We've got the Goodra. We've got a different look from Secret Ship as we head in here to game number 2.
These two Pokemon work incredibly well in tandem, do the Hoopa and the Goodra. Once the hyperspace holes are open, and Goodra, if it picks Dragon Pulse, has so much self-sustain that it's very easy to keep the Goodra going and going and going like the Energizer, but just a slimy Energizer bunny. And that's exactly what they're going to look to do. And that's a tough front line to crack if you're Peru.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes a nice big boosted and an Electro Ball from the Mew. And now we have Tempo jumping on in, looking to see if they can pick up any type of KO, and they cannot. Secret Ship playing it safe, moving back here, trying to get their level 4 possibly on Umbreon, but no, it gets stolen away, and Gakubari very low and gets KO.
Yeah, nice little shot by the Sobble, give them some experience, but quickly DLR sees that, and they're going to get a KO streak of 2 here. The K opener may have been over to Peru, but of course, Secret Ship takes the next 2, and they're keeping that pressure on.
That rapid striker Shifu so incredibly difficult to deal with. All the while you can see Mew is doing everything they can to take away this wild Pokemon experience between these 2 goal zones. Looks like a ton of that goes over to the side of Secret Ship.
Without a doubt. I mean, DLR already over halfway to level 7, and that's where they want to be. They're waiting for this engagement by Tempo. They zip back and forth. The Drizzile Yang is there for the support, and DLR just says, I need to get out of here. Wartortle cuts them off, though, with that big attack, and now Tempo's going to be able to possibly get a KO here. Is there enough follow-up? They get out of dodge. Come on, Yakao with another perfect hyperspace hole.
Incredible stuff, like a trap door, and they just escape from this fight right back into it, looking to pick up some big KOs, diving into that flux zone, just seeing if there's anything they can do. As Tempo is here, and they are pushing up towards DLR, looking for this KO. But man, that Urshifu is so slippery.
I mean, Yakao's been doing great with the Astonishes, with the Phantom Forces to keep the pushes from continuing on top of their key players, and that's, of course, exactly what you're looking for. Gakubari quickly getting a KO on Tempo here, and Secret Ship's got a pretty good composition, and I like the way they're using it right now.
You know, I gotta say, it looks like things are going pretty well for Gakubari on this Umbreon, so maybe they're just really good at the game, and it doesn't really matter what you ban against them.
Just like me.
Yeah.
That's probably something that's true.
I agree.
Gakubari's still doing so much work. It seems like every time they press the buttons on the controller, they're hitting multiple targets on the other team, which is amazing, of course. Another little Phantom Force dipping through, and Nemo's right there. They're trying to give some cover, but there's no way Yako's taking that back. They've got a hyperspace highway down to the bottom path, and they're going to see if they can take this Regirock for the team. Daystark is there. We know they can secure objectives, even if they're all by themselves, but Gakubari's there to bully, and Secret Ship gets an objective.
Yeah, beautiful play here from Secret Ship, and now they're seeing if they can make it top in time to stop Peru from what they are doing, and it doesn't really look like it. It looks like Hoopa is there all alone right now as they are scoring in this bottom path here, raining some points in. 114, 143 right now. Look at this beautiful overcap. Really nice 25 over in this tier 1 goal zone.
Yeah, Secret Ship and Peru have both shown that they're doing pretty good at their numbers here, getting the scores in the right order to maximize those opportunities that they're getting. Finally, the team rotates up. They're going to try and deal with this Regieleki. The Hoopa surprisingly didn't get KO'd when it pivoted up by itself, and nobody else could follow through that hyperspace highway. So good on them to just buy enough time so this thing can be dealt with, and that Peru can't make a push in the top path.
Here we go, just bullying Tempo out of this central area right here. And we can see this Wartortle is still sitting at level 8. They were able to leave it in the top path for a while and try to get a ton of experience, but it really needs to tick over to level 9 to finally become Blastoise. There it is. We have our Blastoise on the map. Huge Unite move, and we've got a Surf Hydro Pump Blastoise for the side of Peru.
Yeah, just a double defender, like true defender action here, and that's really to get space for Tempo to get in there in the way that they want to. And of course, the Inteleon as well plays well at range and wants as much real estate between them and the opponents as possible.
Look at this, DLR just relentless, looking for KOs right here. A long way from home, getting caught by the slow beam and another Unite move. 2 Unite moves to take down this Pokemon, but they do not want it to leave.
No, they do not. That's a quality KO for them. That's the one they wanted. That's the one they got. Long-range liquidation all over Mew as they're finding another target. Hydro Typhoon kicks it up. Goodra gets credit for the Blastoise, covering them absolute slime. It's a wetland disaster. Clean up that swamp as they're moving forward. The fists are flying. Inteleon's on the hunt, but the Goodra's the one that's mean. Inteleon's trying to get away. Yakao can't close it up, but the rest of the team of Secret Ship is pivoting. There's like, we got other stuff to do out here. We got some KOs. Let's go get some points in, baby.
Really beautiful overcaps from Secret Ship all match here. Just incredible stuff. They're now up 208 to 148 right here. Obviously, Peru is going to need to score a ton here in this bottom path to even this thing up. Obion getting that focus band popped from that Zoroark and just having to retreat.
Having to retreat, indeed. I mean, Obion, any Pokemon they've picked up, all different styles, has looked very good and impactful. This Goodra is no exception. And now that it's online, it's the biggest thing on the side of Secret Ship, they are going to be fighting behind the Gooey Dragon and leveraging that in a big way. And it's working so far as soon as it's able to use its attacks.
And here we go. Regieleki now being hit by Peru as multiple members of Secret Ship and Peru are heading up to this top path. Looks like Goodra's in a little bit of trouble right here, surrounded by a ton of members of Secret Ship, of Peru. And it looks like they're now pushing back towards this side. Slow beam onto the Goodra.
Yeah, well, Goodra was the one that's a problem, and that's a way to leverage that. Good retaliation by the Blastoise, and now Tempo gets a KO streak of 2. So Peru come to life here at the 4-minute mark, under the 4-minute mark, 3-minute mark. Hydro Typhoon comes up, and now Anemo is going to use to push and push. DLR wants the KO on the Blastoise. Can they actually close it out? Yakubari's there for the support, and Yakubari gets 2. They get credit for it. DLR didn't decide to chase.
Yakubari still incredible, even not on a Trevenant. They find ways to be extremely impactful. I mean, Secret Ship has a lot of incredible members on it, but Yakubari, look at this, living on almost nothing and making it home right here. Just such an impressive player throughout today's tournament. Tempo in a little bit of trouble right here, being chased down by the Goodra, but they are not able to pick up the KO.
Yeah, no worries. Tempo makes it back to base. They're going to reset. But in the meantime, Regieleki was taken and sent flying towards Peru.
And now we have just about a minute left, 45 seconds left, in fact, until Rayquaza hits this map. We also have a Reggie that is spawning with enough time for someone to take it. And Secret Ship actually has decent position to do this with that tier 1 goal zone up. We're going to have to see if they decide to do that or if they look for a catch here onto the members of Peru. Obviously, this fight is extremely important. Looks like they might be able to take down this Zoroark. Actually, DLR in a little bit of trouble right here. They just lost their focus band, so that exchange was not good for Secret Ship.
Not at all. If they would have gotten a KO, I think you could make a case for it, but I still think that they'd want their focus band going into this Rayquaza fight. We're 10 minutes away. Yakubari loves to have this aggressive position going into the final throws of the game, and Rayquaza hits the map here in 3 seconds.
Yeah, Rayquaza is almost here as we see the teams taking position ready for this fight. Goodra's going to be difficult to take down no matter what happens right here, as we see a big surf from Blastoise pushing them around right back through the hyperspace hole. Blastoise in a lot of trouble right now. The boosted being eaten by this Eldegoss as this fight is kind of kicking off, and they're also just kind of poking at each other.
Yeah, they're trying to scream back, but it's Yakubari that gets targeted, and they get dove on, forces out the Unite move, but they're KO'd before that thing lands. We've got the rings unbound, and we've got to go for stuns. And Nemo chips up only 2 players. One of them is Overone. They're going in, they're trying to get the KO on the Blastoise. DLR's on the chase of Tempo. We're on the right-hand side of the map here. We're going to try and get this Blastoise down. Good spacing against by Yakao on Secret Ship with those fists from the Hoopa. Look at that reset. Is that the whole squadron? Yes, and they're going to pour back through. They're ready for more.
Yeah, they are ready to fight this thing, but the same thing has happened essentially for Peru. They were able to recover, heal themselves up. Nice big liquidation, but it's into a Goodra who can easily tank that huge feint attack as they continue pushing right back into the face of Secret Ship. And this is just a brawl.
Yeah, Tempo goes in, and they're getting some KOs finally. They're trying to leash them around. Obion is there with Yakao. They need to get a reset here, but Tempo just buckles all over them. Now we're going to see if they can get out of there. 2 players do. 3 players down, though. 236 to 208, and Peru's in the lead here. I'm not sure that Secret Ship knows that they're behind.
Yeah, I don't know if Secret Ship knows that they're behind. I don't know if Peru knows exactly where they are in this match either. As Gakubari heads up to this top path, you see Eldegoss watching that goal zone. Hoopa's in a little bit of trouble right here. If it gets caught before it goes home, it does not able to make it back right here. But it's now 320, 208. Peru is up.
Peru is up, and they're looking to close this thing out and really have the sun set on the land of the rising sun here, as Secret Ship is going to try and make this thing happen. But 2 players down immediately. Tempo is too big, and they're shelling in too much damage. Peru, baby, sending Secret Ship to the bottom of the ocean.
That's right. Peru doing such an incredible job right here, going 2-0 against Secret Ship, the #1 seed from Japan. Incredible showing from both of these teams.
I mean, without a doubt, Peru really dominated their entire group, and that was no exception there. Great start by Secret Ship. I really thought the Goodra was going to be able to take over once it hit that KO streak of 2. It was level 11. It was the biggest thing on the map. Could they fight behind it? I mean, it just didn't leverage in the way I thought it would. And credit to this Peru squad for finding the adjustments in flight and getting it done.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible stuff right here as we're going to take a look at the scoreline. Obviously, this was so close. You see the moment where we were talking about, where we were saying, I don't know if either team knows exactly who's up right there. That's when Peru broke that goal zone, and they were able to move the scoreline enough to where they were now finally above them, continuing to put points on the board. Rayquaza not taken, doesn't matter. Peru still wins this thing.
I must say, in that final fight, the only reason Peru did not win more convincingly was because of Yakao on the side of Secret Ship, who was really playing incredibly well for this team and keeping them sustained and in the fight as long as humanly possible. And you can see that by that recovery number that is attached to Yakao there, which is reset heals essentially.
Yeah, I mean, huge numbers for a Hoopa, by the way. But of course, you take a look at the other side, massive damage numbers right here. You can see the teams on stage, obviously, you know, a ton of sportsmanship between these 2 squads. They know that they are facing off against the best teams in the world right here. They are all coming together. A lot of these games heading to game number 3 between teams that have never faced each other, never met in any series. It's incredible to watch. Let's take a look at some big moments here from game 2.
Well, big moments indeed happened as the DLR was off to just a fire starter of a move there, just going in, going big. All of a sudden, you thought Secret Ship was just going to dominate this one from bell to bell.
Yeah. You thought Secret Ship was going to be able to take this one. They looked incredible. Once again, Gakubari, really any defender you put this player on just looks amazing right here. But Peru having some huge moments throughout this fight. And Tempo, just so many big KOs.
Yeah, I think is something that goes understated is the defender and support play for Peru as well. And Tempo was having a hard time getting going, but finally they started fighting behind Kea and Daystark, and they were able to find those opportunities, and here's one of them right here.
Yeah, that was such a huge moment, you know, getting that KO before essentially the Umbreon Unite move actually took effect and was able to, you know, save them in that situation. And then the KOs just continued to rain in as they peeled off, made some really intelligent scores right here.
Yeah, I mean, again, all the credit in the world to Peru. Secret Ship, the #1 seed out of Japan. And they got dispatched in 2 matches on stage, not the way that they wanted to present themselves, of course. But Peru is a formidable squad. And of course, our player of the game here got to be Tempo on that Zoroark. Tons of damage, tons of points, tons of KOs, and they were really a difference maker.
Yeah, incredible stuff here from Tempo. Almost 100,000 damage, 10 big KOs, and a really impressive match for both of these teams. That is the last time we are going to see Secret Ship here at the World Championships. One of the teams from Japan that is not moving on here to day 2.
Peru, on the other hand, showing us that there's a lot of great things left in store with teams that you might not be familiar with. Absolutely, like I said, dominated their group. They're going to be back tomorrow for certain, and they have to be ready because if we heard correctly before, they have Oyasumi Macro waiting for them in that bracket play.
I actually could be wrong here, Dupes Next, but I believe Peru is also not moving on. I believe it is Hoenn from this group that is moving on. I could be totally wrong, and I'm happy to be corrected, but I believe that is the case.
Okay, well, we've been wrong before, we'll be wrong again.
I'll be wrong 5 more times today. I'm calling it right now.
Does that one count towards the total of 5?
That'll be a separate one. There'll be a bonus time that I'm wrong.
Well, something I'm not wrong about, or at least I hope I'm not, is there's an interview on stage. So let's go ahead and get that thing fired up. Take it away. It is not ready, so there we go. Wrong again, bang. We are on an absolute heater here on the World Championships.
Here we go. We do have the interview ready. We're going to send it on over to the stage. You're wrong, I'm not.
I was not wrong, for the record.
Hello, we are here with Tempo from Team Peru. Now, obviously, they played an incredible set. Tempo, how does it feel to be up on the world stage?
Para expresar no tengo palabras esto. Hemos venido recién, nos hemos enfrentado al campeón de Japón, a un equipo de Corea, al equipo de TMB y hemos tenido un desempeño muy satisfactorio este día, así que me siento muy emocionado de esta victoria. Gracias.
Actually, I don't have words to express my feelings. Well, I'm very happy to have beaten one team from North America, one team from America, and one team from Korea, and one team from Japan.
Yeah, so the ability to verse all of these players from all around the world. Now, is there a team that you are most excited to verse tomorrow?
Vale, el equipo que me gustaría enfrentar este segundo día sería Talibó Believers. Es un equipo europeo del cual hemos estado viendo muchas partidas, analizando y hemos visto que ha ganado también muchos campeonatos al igual que nosotros y nos gustaría tener ese enfrentamiento contra ellos este segundo día.
Bueno, I'd like to play with Talibor. They're a very strong team from Europe tomorrow.
I think that is an incredible choice to go up against Tally Bobo Believers, but we'll have to see how these matches pan out. But we are going to go take a quick break before we get these next matches for you. So hang tight and we'll be back right soon.